I'm Mark McPherson. Welcome to one of my videos in my series of videos where we take a look at what I call the 11 essential, fundamental, core, non-verbal communication skills. And as you know, when we're talking about non-verbal communication, we're talking about two particular components. There's a vocal component and a visual component. And in this series of videos, we've been concentrating on the visual component. We will look at that vocal component, but not in this series of videos. This video is all about some things to avoid. Now, I was going to avoid doing a video on things to avoid. And the reason being is I wanted to talk about things to do rather than things not to do. I think it's pretty easy to talk about things not to do. But some people have asked for it, so here is this video on exactly that. If you see me look down a little bit to the side, it's because I have a list of things I'd like to cover in this video. Please don't be distracted by it. Well, maybe you are, maybe I can't help that. But just letting you know that's what I'm doing. So one of the first things I can tell you about is I saw a speaker a while ago on video doing this. They were clearly looking at a teleprompter or a list of ideas like I have on a whiteboard. And it was a little bit distracting. So I'm telling you what I'm doing so at least you'll know what I'm doing. So the first thing to avoid is things that are distracting and things perhaps that actually confuse or even annoy people. So anything like that. And let's talk about now eye contact in general. So it would most certainly look pretty odd if I was looking in that direction. And you've all been talking to someone over a cup of coffee or whatever, and suddenly they're looking over to the side and you're saying, what are they looking at? Has someone gone past they recognise, or they're just staring at something, or are they bored? So it is important to use our eyes carefully. And if you're just simply moving them around like that, it can be annoying to people. And I did do a video on eye contact, so please refer to that, because sometimes it's important to have eye contact and sometimes it's important to not have it. What else have we got down there? Pointing. I'm surprised at how many people consider themselves a good communicator but do this. They're not going, yet another thing. They're not angry like that, but they're simply saying, oh, and that's right. And by the way, I've got this other idea, and have you heard about? And it is simply, well, it's annoying, it's confusing, it's distracting, that's for sure. But it's generally a rude thing to do. Gesturing. Too much gesturing is really, really annoying to people. Meaningless gesturing is also really, really annoying to people. And it can really spoil a great presentation, a great bit of communication if you're saying something like, well, there's three things. Let me tell you about the first thing. Then you might go on to the second thing. Maybe you go on to the third thing. But if you do this, which is great, but then spoil it by saying, so in this first issue that I really want to talk about, oh, wow, you know, blah, blah, blah. Doing this, it really does take away from the impact of actually bothering to do this in the first place. So let's keep that gesturing down to a minimum and always make it meaningful. One of the things I have found is once people know what to do with their hands and body and eyes and face, and they've worked it out, then they do a lot less meaningless gesturing because they know that they keep their hands still until they want to do something in particular. Anything that interrupts the flow of what you're speaking about, your communication. Slapping the thighs when you're speaking. It's visually annoying, and you can hear it. You know, it's orally annoying as well. Clicking of fingers, simply just looking around, fidgeting, touching the face, doing things like this. You know, I've seen people clean their ears and things, and I don't think they mean any harm by it, but it's simply not a good look. It's very easy to do things which are distracting to people. Very, very easy. I saw some professional speakers talking about communication a little while ago, two of them together on a platform. When one was speaking, the other one went to the side and put their hands in their pocket. I don't think they meant anything by it, but it simply isn't a good look. I don't want to interpret it too much. It's not body language that I really want to talk about, but it simply just didn't look good. Were they bored? Did they not care? It would have been better if they'd actually moved right off screen. If they'd done that, I reckon that would have been much much better. The other person, when they weren't talking, actually went and sat down. Now, I think we've got to cut people a bit of slack here. People have sore backs, people have injuries, all sorts of things. But I just think it didn't look good, and I think it would have been better if they'd actually moved right away. So there's a few things we need to be careful about. I haven't gone into hairstyles and clothing and things like that, but these are also important. The things that are the physical things about us, we need to be careful of. Combing your hair or not combing your hair, these things have a big effect on the audience. Why don't I leave it there? There's a few things to avoid. Please just simply avoid doing too much gesturing, and gesturing that really means nothing. I watch politicians and people on TV, sometimes they say, look, there's lots of really important things, and they're doing this, which not too bad, but then they spoil it by saying, but there's a whole pile of other things which aren't important. Well, they've done the same gesture for important, and they're not important. It's important for us to make sure that we really think about what we're going to do with our non-verbal communication, particularly our visual communication when we're speaking. Let's leave it there. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, please look after yourselves, look after your family and friends, and I do hope to chat to you soon. All the very best.